Hi, welcome to another episode of Partners in Progress. I'm Joe,
I'm Liz.
and we're a married couple. We're also entrepreneurs, both entrepreneurs, and we're both in the coaching space. So I work with real estate agents, mostly people in real estate, but that are also in leadership. That's kind of my niche. And Liz works with a different niche.
I work with moms who have children going through leukemia treatment.
Yeah, because we have a son that's almost done with that.
Yep.
Woo!
Woo.
Almost done, almost to the end of it.
Just a month left.
But we both know that's not really the end, right? Just the end of the formal chemotherapy treatment, and then you're
Then
gonna
you
keep
have the
going
rest
back.
of, his life.
Well, obviously the rest of his
And
life.
all the doctor's appointments after.
Yeah.
You think you're done, but you're not. Anyway.
Well, I don't want to bring people down, but
I
on that note,
it's my belief.
on, on that note, yeah, right. Well, we've been talking a lot about belief this week, and been listening to a lot of stuff about belief, and experienced a lot of things about belief. And it's my belief. Actually, belief is really important though, because if you don't, the way I think the way Webster defines belief is that you have an assurance and acceptance of something or someone. I think is something along those lines. But the way I like to think of belief is a sense of absolute certainty. What that something's going to happen or that something's not going to happen. It can go either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the examples I like to use, since we were talking about our son, right? One of the examples I like to use is the fact that he never lost his hair during chemo treatment.
Right.
And do you remember him at the very beginning where the doctor's like, oh, he's gonna lose his hair. Like within the first couple treatments, he's gonna start losing his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And remember what he said, right? I am not gonna lose my hair.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do
That's
that.
what he said. I am not gonna lose my hair. I don't know. Got something against people losing their hair. I don't know, but he was just very adamant. Like, no, that's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna lose my hair.
Mm-mm.
And he kept that belief all through treatment,
Yeah,
and he never lost his hair.
true.
And
Not all of it.
the doctors were like amazed because they did the first couple like really intense treatments, hadn't lost it,
Did
and
turn
then
orange though. That was
and
interesting.
change colors a little bit. But then they were like, well, not all the kids lose their hair the first couple, but the next treatment he'll definitely lose it. Didn't lose it. Then he went for months and months, and then he went to the. We won't go through all the drugs and everything he took, but then he went to this next phase, which was intense again. And they're like, okay, well, he didn't lose his hair up to this point, but this is going to be the time. This is going to be when he's going to lose his hair. Didn't lose his hair. Never lost his hair.
It did thin out quite a bit.
A little bit,
on that
but
one,
but he never lost it. He never lost his hair, and he kept that belief all throughout. And he believed so much that it got me believing. Like at one point, I was like, yeah, he's not going to lose his hair. He's not.
Mm-mm.
And people can say that's like, oh, that's a total coincidence, or not everyone loses their hair during chemo, right?
More often than not, but yeah.
Right. More people do than don't, right? But they've actually done studies where they will use a placebo. These are real studies. You can look them up. Um, they've done placebos where they will, I think everyone knows what a placebo is, but where they will give someone this placebo and say it's chemo. They'll say it's a cancer drug, a cancer treatment, and they will start losing their hair. True story. It's a real study. You can go look it up.
Their cancer also starts to shrink.
Their what?
I wonder if their cancer also starts to shrink.
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
But they have real cases where people will start losing their hair, their gums will start bleeding,
Yeah, that's crazy.
They get weak. And it's all based on the belief.
Well, what about that study that they did where they had people close their eyes and they said, "I'm going to touch you with this really, really hot poker or something,"
Uh-huh.
and they end up touching their skin with ice,
Yeah.
and it ends up blistering because they think it is something hot, and it was just ice.
But they got them. I think they used hypnosis to get them to the point where they
I actually
believed
believe
they
that that's
believed
what was
at
happening.
a core level. They had an like I said, absolute certainty that they were touching them with a hot poker, but it was a piece of ice. You're right, and they formed a blister, a burn. I mean, that's the power of belief. That's the power. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if we go a little bit more into placebo, I think that's such a perfect example of belief because the word placebo is comes from the Latin word as I please, right? It means basically this is I choose to believe this, right? I choose this,
Mm-hmm.
and they've done studies with all kinds of placebos, and they've found that placebos actually are more powerful than the drugs themselves.
Yeah, and they go to the right spot because your brain's like, well, it's going to heal this, and
Right?
it'll give you the
They've
right
even done,
enzymes and
yeah,
cells
and
for
they've
it.
even swapped them. They've done almost like a placebo, if you will, where they'll give someone, uh, what's it called? They'll give someone I think it's called a barbiturate. Basically, it's where it's supposed to kind of slow down your system. Yeah, it's a barbiturate and an amphetamine. So a barbiturate will just kind of, I know there's stupid, crazy big words, but that basically it just means you slow down your system. A
Kind of
bar,
like taking weed.
kind of like
Like,
yeah, I guess.
that's what it
So
would
it's
be.
supposed to kind of make you chill, right?
Okay.
And they will give someone. They've done studies on this too, and they will give someone a barbiturate, which was supposed to slow their system down, but they'll tell them that it's an amphetamine. They'll tell them
Which makes
that it's
them go
something
hyper,
that will make them super
like
focused
speed.
and will exactly like speed that will raise their energy levels. And their energy levels will raise
So it
because
can
they
actually
believe that
fight the drug
it can
in a way.
fight not only counteract the drug, but it's so much more powerful.
Yeah.
One of the people we were listening to, Deepak Chopra, was saying that it's 40,000 times more powerful than the drug itself. He said that it's 40,000 times more powerful than street heroin.
Yeah. When
And
it's
that's the drug that you produced in your own brain.
right.
Right. And then they did the reverse too. So they would give people an amphetamine, which is like speed, and tell them that it's gonna make them chill. It's gonna help them calm down, and it would because that's what they believed in.
Yeah.
That's what they believed at the core level would happen. And so this can be used in this can be switched too. That's the power, but that's the danger of belief. I mean, I guess the danger,
You can
just the power of belief itself is you can switch it.
it can be used to create or to destroy.
Absolutely, your belief creates and destroys everything around you.
Well,
Everything.
that's what we're seeing in our country right now.
Yeah.
Is a belief that one side is worse than the other.
Right.
And if you're on that side, then you're my enemy. Which that's a belief that they have just like shoved down our throat for the last, what is it, 8 years since
Oh, it's been
bef-
longer than that, but
well, but
yeah,
it's been really bad in the last
yeah,
8 years.
it's been really bad in the last probably 15, but yeah, it definitely is getting worse.
They are ramping it up. But they're making people believe it so internally that
A
they're,
sense of absolute certainty.
yeah, they're certain that if you don't believe the same things I do or have the same opinions that I do, then you are nothing.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's okay to kill you. It's okay to like get excited about your death. And because they're not seeing you as a person anymore, you're just their enemy,
Yeah.
which is a lot like what they did in World War II.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Hitler made people hate the
Yeah.
Jews.
I like to tell my my students sometimes that there was a person that said that if you tell someone a lie long enough and loud enough, eventually they'll start to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Hitler.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. So
And
beliefs can cause destruction.
and you know what I think are um, some of the most dangerous and destructive beliefs that when you have that sense of absolute certainty are universal or generalized beliefs like, you know, all white people are terrible or all black people are terrible or all women or all men are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not, that's objectively stupid. That doesn't make sense. Like, not every person, not every leftist is terrible, not every right wing person is terrible. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't. And I know I wouldn't have held this opinion a couple of years ago, but I'm getting to the point where it's like it doesn't matter what side
It's like
you're on.
both
We're
sides
people.
are crazy.
Well, yeah, both sides are nuts.
Yeah, it's like just love people and believe that God died for all of them. And then where are you at? You're in the middle. You're trying to just live your life.
And I think obviously I agree with you, and I believe in the potential of other people too.
Yeah.
Because there's two commandments, right? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And I believe that part of loving your neighbor is believing in them, believing in their potential. There's so many people out there. Who do you know that actually has tapped their potential? No one. I think we can generalize that statement. I mean, there is literally no one on earth that has tapped their full potential.
Not even Elon Musk,
No,
I'm sure.
I don't.
I'm sure he can go way higher
No,
than me.
and that's the great thing about potential. I guess we're going on to potential, but is that when you start to push your thresholds, when you expand out of your threshold of control, you gain more potential because you're expanding yourself.
You see, here we go into potential, but your belief can limit your potential.
Absolutely.
Because the belief that you have and how far you can go up, you can start sabotaging yourself because it's like, oh, I can't, that's not who I am. I don't believe that I can be that person, so I can't.
Right.
And then so your belief in that will just make you go stagnant and just sit there.
It's like a thermostat.
Yeah.
Right? So when you put the thermostat on, you
Just,
have it set at 75 degrees,
yeah.
right?
Forget the air conditioner, just go outside and
Right.
have the
Well, if you start really ramping things up and you start making some progress and you really start getting some success and you really start doing things, that are moving things forward, you're getting some growth, then your brain starts to go, wait a minute, we're up at 90, you're a 75 person, and you start to sabotage yourself and the coolers kick on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it happens the other way too. If you get too far down in the dumps and you're
like,
too depressed, eventually you go, this is not who I am. I'm a 75 person. So you go up to here. And we've talked about raising your standards before. That's also part of your beliefs. Your beliefs absolutely will hold you back. Everyone's got beliefs and I think, and generalized statements are fine here because everyone's got them. Everyone has beliefs that hold them back. If they didn't, you and I would both be out of a job. But we're always working through those, right?
Yeah.
And it's important to understand that. It's important that we have beliefs that are empowering. We have beliefs that are disempowering. We have beliefs that are going to start to pull us back. But that sense of absolute certainty is so important. You have to have that sense of certainty. I mean, when was the last time that you did something that was really incredible, something that was really profound from a sense of uncertainties, from a sense of, like self-doubt?
Well, never, because you're not gonna try something new if you think you're gonna fail.
Right. I wouldn't have asked you out if from a place of complete I wouldn't have proposed to you from a place of complete self-doubt. Now, granted, I was terrified, but I was certain. I mean, I'll be honest. At here we go. At 15 years old,
You're crazy.
when I proposed to my now wife, of almost
Almost
15
15 years.
years.
Yeah.
At 15 years old, when I proposed to you, I had a sense of absolute certainty. And I did. It was 100% certain that you would say yes.
Mhm.
And so I didn't need to come from a place of self doubt because I knew that's what was going to happen. I knew that. It was 100% certain. And I think that's I think that's what people miss so often from the standpoint of belief is that you have to have that certainty. You have to have that really deep abiding belief in order to really make things happen in your life. If you've got a client that you're doing for my clients, they do real estate. So if you've got a client that you're going to go do a listing presentation for, and you walk in there like, oh man, I really hope I get the job, you know,
You're not going to
what
do
is
as
the
well.
chance that you're going to get that
Yeah.
job? Pretty low.
Yeah.
If you're, and I know it hits a little bit harder with the moms that you coach, but
Mhm.
if one of your moms is coming from a place of real self-doubt and belief, not 100% certainty, a point of disbelief, like they don't know if their kid's going to make it through, they don't know if they're going to be able to pull through, right? Because that's a lot of what you help with, is the self-care and helping them not lose themselves in the process.
Mhm.
But if they don't have that certainty, then what is that going to how is that going to end up on the other side? I'm sure you could probably speak to
Since I lived it,
that.
it's not going to be good. Just kidding. Um,
Well, go ahead.
it's just you're not gonna have any hope
Yeah.
for the future. Like I was afraid to dream about the future because like I wasn't certain on what it, and that's the hard part with childhood cancer is that you can't be certain. I
Yeah.
mean, so we have the statistics, we were talking about statistics today too.
Right.
That the cancer that our son had has a 95% chance of survival,
Yeah.
of 5 year survival rate,
Yeah,
which whatever that means.
when you first started, and then they kept lowering it,
Yeah, well,
but
we
we
won't
won't
go
talk
into
about we won't go
just
into that.
his type of cancer
Yeah.
in children. 95% chance that he will make it.
Right.
Um, but what they don't tell you is that it's a generalized statistic,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and the chemo, each child takes it differently. There's kids that um relapse and they have the good kind of cancer is what they call it, right?
Yeah.
They relapse. And so it's just there's so much uncertainty in it that you can't really put your certainty in the fact that, your child is going to survive. You have certainty that today he is okay. You have to live
And
in this certainty of today.
certainty of what you can provide for your child, right?
Like, okay, that's a good one because we're having to put all these poisons into our child.
Right.
We don't want to do that. Nobody does. None of the moms, no matter which area of the medical spectrum they live on,
Sure.
want to put poison in their child.
Right.
They don't want to hurt them.
Of course not.
But if you go to the point where you're like, they have to get this medicine, or we won't go into that. They have to get this medicine,
Sure.
but I don't have to give them junk food. I
Yeah.
don't have to give them sugar that feeds the cancer. I
Well,
don't I don't have to just let them eat whatever they want.
well, we know that the most powerful drug that you can take is the food that you eat.
Right.
And so you can have absolute certainty in that.
And you can also speak life over your child, like you're going to do great. You're thriving, you're strong, you're the cancer slayer. That's what Keelan likes to call himself, the
Right.
cancer slayer. And so we encourage that, and
Right.
that's something that's certain. They
Yeah.
are slaying cancer
Right.
every day. So,
Yeah, and you brought up a really good point because you were talking about they think they come from a place of uncertainty, right?
Mhm.
And I hope I don't get taken off of YouTube for this, but here goes. Um, there is a problem with the medical field because they are stealing our certainty. They have stolen that sense of certainty
Yeah.
of our own health, and that is not okay. And this is not just it's not just against the medical field in general. This is happening on all levels. You have the right to have certainty in your own life.
Mhm.
You have the right to have that belief. Don't give your belief away to someone else. Don't give that power to someone else. That sense of absolute certainty, that's yours by right. That's given to you by God.
Yeah.
Don't give that power away,
Well, when you
whatever it
do,
is. And if
yeah.
you're in a situation where you're not sure, make sure you are sure before you keep going forward.
See,
Have that sense of belief, have that sense of certainty. Don't just do it because you're getting bullied into it. This is textbook bullying.
well, so the doctor, so let's say you go to the doctor and you find out you have a terminal cancer. And you're like, okay, fine. I guess I have 3 months to live. What do you think's going to happen?
Right?
You're going to die in 3 months,
If
almost
you
to the
believe it,
day,
if
if
you
you believe
believe
it.
it, if you
Right.
truly
But if,
internalize and have that sense of absolute certainty.
but if you, same person decides this isn't going to beat me, I am going to fight everything I can on natural healing or even conventional medication, and I'm going to beat this thing.
And
I'm
they
gonna,
believe
and
it.
they believe it. They do.
Yeah,
I've
almost
read
every single
stories.
time.
Yeah, I've read stories where these people get. I read one where the guy had 3 days to live,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, screw that," and he ended up beating the terminal cancer because the doctors are not God. They cannot tell you, "Oh, you only have this much time to live."
And I would even go as far as to say it's immoral to say that. I'm sorry, but it's immoral. It's wrong to tell someone how
I
long they have to live.
say,
You don't know how long they have to live, but they do. They know.
and they
And
can decide,
if
yeah.
they have a sense of absolute certainty that I am going to die next week, you probably will. There was a story of a I think I shared this story with you.
I
But
don't know.
there's a story of a doctor that went into the patient's room, and
Oh,
he was scheduled for a really simple. It was just a
procedure.
really simple, I think, prostate procedure. Just something really simple. It was just going to be kind of an in and out thing. Well, I won't touch that one with 10-foot pole. But anyway, so yeah, it was supposed to be a really,
You just did.
a really simple procedure.
Mhm.
But for some reason, the charts got mixed up with the guy, like the patient
Probably in
next
the
door.
same room, yeah.
I don't know. And so the doctor saw that he had, I don't, the story didn't even tell what he had, but he had some kind of terminal illness. And so the doctor went in there with the wrong chart, started speaking to the wrong guy about that, and gave him what they call the death and dying counseling, and basically said, you get your things, your
Affairs in
affairs in
order.
order, and but he never actually mentioned the specific ailment, and so
Or
the
his
guy
name.
never caught on that the charts got switched. So it gives him this whole counseling or whatever, and tells the guy that you really need to think about like
End
to
of life.
the end of life stuff. Goes home, has a heart attack, and dies.
Yeah.
He was basically the picture of health. He had a minor issue that just needed to be kind of remedied, and then they mix up the chart, and he ends up dying because he believed it, because he believed it in his core. He had that sense of absolute certainty that this was real, and it manifested in his physical body.
And it's because we have been conditioned to believe that doctors are, they have the last say on your life. They have the
Right.
last say on your health. Aging, yeah, it's just inevitable. No, it's not. You can age backwards. It is possible.
Yeah. Well, and you can slow the process. You can do all of these amazing
and then
things.
just die when it's time.
Yep.
You don't have to be in agony and pain, and you don't have to get old.
Yeah, that's one of the beliefs I have. And I know I'm only in my 30s, but I've seen people and I've known people that have basically defied the aging process. And it's really has to do with natural stuff.
Well, it has to do with the things that as Americans we don't do. We don't exercise all the time. We don't eat healthy. We don't get sun. We're afraid of the sun.
And half of the reasons that we don't do all that, people don't do that, is because they don't believe that it's helpful. They don't believe in it.
Well, they believe that the sun is going to kill them.
Yeah, the sun monster is going to kill them.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just like, real quick, really? For YouTube, I don't believe all doctors are evil. I just think there needs to be some kind of switch. There needs to be some kind of reform here.
Like what they used to be. They used to want to help people. They used to like really be interested in the science of everything. They didn't think they were God. Yeah. We have given them too much power. We need to take away their power.
We need to take our power back. That's what we need to. Yes. We need to take our own power of belief.
Well, they say that you can't thrive through cancer, and yet people have defied that over and over and over again, which is a great topic for childhood cancer awareness, because that's this month.
Oh, is it this month?
Yeah, go gold.
Nice.
Do you know why it's gold? The ribbon for childhood cancer?
Why?
Because children are more precious than gold.
Mm-hmm. True. Well, I want to touch on something real quick. And I don't want to go off on the doctors because that's not really what it's about. It was about belief. But I think it's a very good example of giving away your belief, giving away your power.
Well, the doctors are just, they're there to help in emergency situations. And I'm very grateful for everything they've done for Kaylin. I am too, yeah. Like, it's, I'm very thankful. But I don't think that they should have the power that they do.
Yeah, I agree. I think because like I said, that's our power. That's our power of belief.
We've just given them our power back.
We've farmed out our belief. I mean, if you want to put it that way, that's insane. Why are we farming out our power of belief? I mean, when you get to that point, that you're in trouble. So we need to take it back. And it all comes down to being intentional, right? I've always said that the foundation of personal development, the foundation of success, foundation for everything you want in life is intentionality. That's the foundation. That's baseline. That's bedrock. But I wanted to touch on something real fast, and that's that there's a reverse. We talked about placebo a lot, and there's a reverse of placebo, and they call it a nocebo. And it's we basically touched on the effect of it, but I just wanted to throw it out there that it's called a nocebo basically when someone mixes up a chart or when someone says you're going to die of cancer. So the other thing that I think is so misunderstood is the concept of placebos, because when someone hears placebo, they just think, oh, it's like a sugar pill. It's for weak-minded people that oh, here, take this and it'll make you better. But that's not how it works. It happens on a cellular level. Our brain and our body responds to that based on what we truly believe. Now, if we know it's a placebo, if we know it's a sugar pill, it won't work.
It's not going to work.
Because there's not a sense of absolute certainty there. You have to have that sense of absolute certainty.
It reminds me of that episode of Andy Griffith with the old lady putting her pills.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, she's so
Give
funny.
me my pills. Yeah. It's the same thing, though.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to touch on is that certainty is not just here. It's in your body as well. Physiology, our brain and our mind are one piece. Like I've said it before, probably 100 times. that
You mean our
some,
brain and our body are one
what
piece?
did I say?
Brain and our mind, which yes,
Brain and
they
our
are.
body. Brain and our body. All of them, it's all one piece. It's all one continuous piece.
Because God made us in
Because
His image.
we indwell in our body.
Yeah.
You know, I love that quote. I can't remember who it was. I'm not even gonna try because I'll attribute it to the wrong person. But I love that quote where it says that we're not humans having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having the human experience, and I believe that. One of the reasons that sometimes it feels like we don't belong here.
Yeah.
We're spiritual beings that are having a human experience.
Well, and I believe
And
God put that in us.
of course,
He doesn't want us to feel at home here. He wants us to feel like something's missing because He's what's missing.
well, and
Unless you
we're
have Him in
supposed
your
to
heart.
align with our purpose.
Mhm.
And
And what is our purpose?
huh?
And what is our purpose?
Everyone's purpose is different.
Well, you could say that. I think everyone, I think everybody has the same purpose,
And what's that?
but they all have different ways of
Okay.
achieving that purpose.
Yeah.
It's to glorify God.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But we each have different gifts. Each
Right.
have different callings on our life. And it's, I've always said he gives us the gifts and the talents, but it's up to us to find out what that is and how to use it, right? That's to me that's clearly he's got a sense
Like
of
a
humor.
scavenger hunt.
Yeah, right.
If
But
you like scavenger hunts, that's exciting. If you don't, it's
but our
frustrating.
bodies and our mind are one piece. For
Yeah.
some somehow in this Western culture we got the idea that they're completely separate, and they're not. So what you do with your physiology will affect your mind, and what you do with your mind will affect your physiology. They did. I just wanted to end with this because I think it's really interesting, and I use it in certain ways in my practice. Harvard did a study a couple of years back that they called the superhero poses. You heard about that?
Superhero poses.
Poses.
Uh-huh.
And so when you sit up like this and you put your hands on your hips right there and you look up and you do that for 2 to 3 minutes, your cortisol levels plummet, your stress hormones, and your testosterone levels shoot up from a simple pose, right? So that's the power of certainty. It raises our certainty, right? So next time, and I want everyone watching this to remember that next time you are feeling uncertain, next time you're feeling like you don't have that belief, but you want it, and you want to get to the place where you can, your physiology will get you there. I use a version of this to kind of to get myself in a state of absolute certainty when I'm going into a coaching session or when I'm speaking or doing speaking engagements or something. I get myself in this state of absolute certainty through using my physiology. So your physiology and your mind are one piece, and belief is incredibly important. What you believe, what you have a sense of absolute certainty about, will either bring you fulfillment and success and happiness, or it will destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Belief is extremely important. So I would audit the things that you believe in this week and ask yourself, do I have a sense of complete, absolute certainty in this? And if you don't, ask yourself why. Our brains are designed to solve problems. And so when you ask yourself those questions, your brain will automatically start to find the answers. And maybe there's things that you should have absolute certainty about. Maybe there's things that maybe you shouldn't have absolute certainty about. One of the things that I've found is that when someone has a core belief that they are the best at something, they don't continue to improve. I give again another quote. Can't remember who it was, but the quote goes, the minute you stop growing, you are the best that you will ever be. So belief is important for growth, and you have to have a sense of uncertainty to in order to continue to grow and to get you out of that sense of boredom.
So there has to be a balance.
So you have to have a balance. That's the paradox, right? You have to have a balance between having that sense of certainty and the sense of uncertainty. And like I said, I think God has a sense of humor because he put that. Those are two of our fundamental human needs: is
Yeah.
certainty and uncertainty. So audit your beliefs this week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.